Shabbat Shalom. This is Rabbi Bertie Becker, and welcome Shalom Park and everyone who is a guest. Whether you're returning or first time, you're certainly welcome here. We begin in the Shalom Park booklet. It's on page 1, Matovu. How wonderful are your tents, Jacob, and your dwelling places, Israel. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael. L'chuner anana ladonai naria l'tzur yishenu. Nikadma fanav betoda bizmirot naria lo. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose and meaning. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this Shabbat fulfills its promise to us. Come, let us sing joyously to God, a new song unto God, Shir Chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. The earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. I will sing a new song unto God. Page 4. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth be glad. Let the seas roar and all within it thunder. Adonai malach tegel haaretz yismachu yim rabim. Anan va'arafel sevivav tzedek umishpat mechon kis'o. Or Zarua, let Sadiq ul Yishrei lev simcha. Light is sown for the righteous, and joy for the upright in heart. Exalt in Adonai, O you righteous, and give thanks to God's holy name. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehakodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romamu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romamu. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehakodsho. And on page 6, we begin L'chadodi. Come, my beloved, meet the bride, greet the Shabbat. Ya la 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 chadodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabala l'chadodi Kala, Panei Shabbat, Nikabala la 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 la, Shamua v'zachor, B'dibur chad, Ishmianu el hamayuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shem ul tiferet v'liti la 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 chadodi, Likrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nikabala, L'chadodi, Likrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nikabala la 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 la, Likrat Shabbat, Lechuvenecha, Ki makor habracha, Merosh Mikedem Nesucha, Sof ma'asaba makshavati la 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 chadodi, Likrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nikabala, Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nikabala la 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 la. We rise physically or spiritually to greet the bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam simcha tzochala, toch emunei am segula, boi chala la 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 chadodi, Likrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nikabala, Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat, Nikabala la 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 la. Please be seated. Unless you rose spiritually, in which case, stay spiritually elevated. As we sing the Psalm for Shabbat, page 10. Tov lehodot l'Adonai u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. La la la. Ready? Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. It's good to give thanks, to sing praises to your name, and proclaim your love every morning, your faithfulness every night. To the sound of the 10-string lyre and the music of the lute and the harp, your works, Adonai, bring me gladness, and of your deeds I joyously sing. Tzadik Adama Yifrach, Yifrach, Tzadik Adama Yifrach. Tzadik Adama Yifrach, Yifrach, Tzadik Adama Yifrach. Ke'erez belvanon yiske, Ke'erez belvanon yiske, Ke'erez belvanon yiske, yiske. Ke'erez belvanon yiske, Ke'erez belvanon yiske, Ke'erez belvanon yiske, yiske. The Call to Worship, page 13. Together, teach me, God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, and routine set my ways. We rise again as we are able, spiritually or physically, for the call to worship. Baruch et Adonai Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, Hama'ariv aravim. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praised to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Ahat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadata Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shochveinu uvkumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki hem hayenu V'orech yameinu Uvahem nege Yomam v'layla V'ahavatchel tasir Mimenu l'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Page 18. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol modecha v'hayu Advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam la'od al yadecha V'hayu l'totafot bein einecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha Uvish arecha. In the middle of page 19, together. You shall make for yourself seat on the corner of your garment throughout the ages. The tzitzit are a reminder to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem emet. And as we came out of Egypt, we crossed through the Sea of Reeds. And on the other side proclaimed, who can compare to you, Adonai, who is glorious, who is so awesome. Michamocha, B'elim Adonai, Mikamocha, Nedar B'kodesh, Norah Tehilot, Osefele, Norah Tehilot, Osefele, Mahutecha Ra'uvanecha, Bokei Hayam, Ve'elianu ve'amaru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Michamocha ve'elim Adonai Mikamocha Nedar ba'kodesh Nora tehilot O sefele Nora tehilot O sefele V'nemar kifada Adonai Et Yaakov Ugoalo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael Michamocha ve'elim Adonai Mikamocha Nedar ba'kodesh Nora tehilot O sefele Nora tehilot O sefele Adonai, help us to lie down in peace and raise us up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace and guide us with your good counsel. Top of page 23. Ufros aleinu sukat shalom echa ufros aleinu sukat shalom echa. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. And we watch, we observe the Sabbath day to make the Sabbath for all the generations to come. Shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, page 24. Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'dortam barit olam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael od hi le'olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat l'dortam barit olam ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dortam barit olam u'vayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash Shavat vayinafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dortam barit olam. As we are able, we rise physically or spiritually for Hatzi Kaddish to be followed by the Amidah, our conversation with God. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabba ba'almati v'rach yutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei delcho beit Yisrael Bagala v'zman kariv v'maru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'l'olmei almaya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekodesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran belma b'maru Amen. Adonai svatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel chasadim tovim, v'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot, umevi goel livnei v'nehem, l'ma'an shemo, ba'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ufoked Sarah, Atagi bor le'olam Adonai, V'chaye metim atarav le'hoshia, Mashiv haruach, Umarid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechaye metim b'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishene afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidom melech, melech memit, umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'nemanata, v'hachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim. You are faithful, giving life to all that live. Praised are you, Adonai, who gives life to all that lives. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Heaven and earth and all their beings were finished, and God completed on the seventh day the work that had been done, and ceased upon the seventh day from all the work that had been done. God blessed the seventh day and set it apart, for on it God had ceased from all work that had been done in carrying out creation. Page 33, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu, ritzei v'mnuchateinu, Kachenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, Sabeinu mituvecha, v'samcheinu b'yeshuatecha, v'tahel libeinu, le'avdecha, be'emet, v'anhileinu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava u'v'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha, v'yanuchu v'Yisrael mikadeshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat. Let me take just one moment for individual prayer. Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasih Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Ki Atahu Melech Adon Loho HaShalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon Loho HaShalom Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai Hamavarech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'al Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'al Yisrael. Imru Amen. So today had an historical significance. In the second book of Kings, it's written, and it was in the 9th year of King Zedekiah, in the 10th month, on the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his legions, upon Jerusalem, and encamped upon it and built forts around it. And the city came under siege until the 11th year of King Zedekiahu, on the 9th of the month of Av. Famine was intense in the city, and the people had no bread, and the city was breached. So in other words, on the 10th of Tevet, which is today, the Babylonians began their siege of Jerusalem. A year and a half later, on the 9th of Av, the first Beit HaMikdash, the temple in Jerusalem, was destroyed. And so it is that the fast of the 10th of Tevet is considered more intense than even the fast of Tisha B'Av or Yom Kippur, since it marked the beginning of the calamity. And yet it is a fast that is only morning to evening and not a full 25 hours as Yom Kippur or Tisha B'Av. However, neither Yom Kippur nor Tisha B'Av can be observed on a Friday. And so it is that we're not to enter Shabbat from fasting. And yet this holiday, this observance day, the 10th of Tevet, can occur as it does this year on Friday. Had there been no siege, the walls could not have been breached. The first temple would not have been destroyed. Gedaliah, the governor of the Jews, would not have been murdered, and that's what caused the remaining Jews to go into exile. So the following is a story about the return from exile. It's called The Strongest Thing in the World, and it comes from the Classic Tales by Ellen Frankel. Darius, the king of Persia, had 3 bodyguards, a Persian prince, a Hindu prince, and Zerubbabel, the prince of Judah. One night, when King Darius was asleep, the 3 men decided to hold a contest among themselves. Let each declare what is the strongest thing in the world, they agreed, And when the king awakes, he will choose which of our answers is best. And so they each took a slip of paper and wrote down their answers. The Persian wrote, "Wine is the strongest thing in the world, for it banishes sorrow and gives birth to joy." And the Hindu wrote, "The word of the king is the strongest thing in the world, for all must bow to his will or die." And Zerubbabel wrote, "The power of woman is the strongest thing in the world, for she can humble even kings. But stronger than all of these is truth, for the earth requires it, the heavens acknowledge it, all of creation kneels before it. It is perfect. To it belongs power and glory. Blessed be the God of truth." They placed their slips under the king's pillow and quietly left the room. And when the king awoke, he summoned his advisors and ministers to hear the words of his 3 bodyguards. When the first 2 defended their answers, the ministers and advisors praised their wisdom. But when they heard Zerubbabel's answer, they cried in one voice, "Mighty is truth. Nothing can compare to it." The king then turned to Zerubbabel and said, "You have won the contest. What is your prize? Name it." "Only one thing do I desire, Your Majesty," answered Zerubbabel, "to lead my people out of captivity and back to their home, to rebuild God's temple in Jerusalem. Give us permission to leave and bring back with us the holy vessels that were taken by Nebuchadnezzar." "Granted," declared the king, and before he died, Darius instructed his successor, Cyrus, to give Zerubbabel all that had been promised to him. And Zerubbabel led the captives home from Jerusalem. There they rebuilt the temple. It was Zerubbabel who found the celestial fire hidden by Jeremiah at the destruction of the temple. And with it they rekindled the Ner Tamid, the eternal flame. It was at this time that Zerubbabel, whose name means planted in Babylon, received his Hebrew name, Nehemiah, which means comforted by God. And God decreed that he would join Elijah at the end of days to herald the Messiah and summon all of the scattered exiles back to home. And so we say, Baruch Dayan Ha'emet. Blessed is the God of truth, Emet, truth. We take a moment to say prayers of healing, our Mishaberach prayers. So please say out loud the names or write into the chat box the names of the people that you are thinking of who need healing, as we pray also for all of those around the world in need of healing. Because even though the vaccine has started, it will take months before everyone has had their vaccine and is protected. Misha Berach Avotenu Makor Havracha Imotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu. renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And we take a moment to send those prayers out into the community, out into the state, the country, out into the world, and up into the heavens. We rise as we are able for Aleinu on page 39. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, ateit gedula leyotzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechohamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamelachim hakadosh baruch hu. It's up to us to hallow creation, to respond to life with the fullness of our lives. It is up to us to meet the world, to embrace the whole even as we wrestle with its parts. It's up to us to repair the world and bind our lives to truth. Therefore, we bend the knee and shake off the stiffness that keeps us from the subtle graces of life and the supple gestures of love. With reverence and thanksgiving, we accept our destiny and set for ourselves the task of redemption. Kakatu b'tortecha Adonai yimlach le'olam va'ed, v'nemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol ha'aretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. May all created in your image, Adonai, page 44, become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. On that day, Adonai will be one, and God's name will be one. So in Israel, the 10th of Tevet is also called Yom HaKadosh HaKlali. Excuse me, I can't talk this evening. A day on which Kaddish is said for the Jews who have died before them. But in Israel, they also use this date to say prayers for those who have died and have no one to say it for them. I know some of us do that all the time, but this is a special day set aside for that, such as for the victims of the Holocaust. Sorry, I had to find my list of names. So if you have names to add afterwards, please say them out loud. I'll give you just a moment. At Shalom Park, we are remembering Art Frazen, Jack Fields, Joseph Radulensky, Sadie Lipson, Irene Stein, Esther Winters, Lydia Morshevay, Faye Markov, Rhea Landers, Robert Englander, Goldie Altenberg, Rachel Field, Goldie Sirota, Sigbert Levison, Kaya Kaikina, Theophil Kush, Nicholas Stern, Leon Peters, Grace Alkner, Esther Lesser, Howard Feldman, Sandra Girk, Arthur Lang, Ruth Reed, Irvine Peck, Mary White, Matlaya Novoselsakya, Maria Rosemarich, Daniel Delaney, Emma Bledsoe, and Saul Galansky. Other names? Just put them in or say them out loud. Kaddish is on page 45. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Ba'alma di v'ra chirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shmei d'kudsha barichu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran belma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the one who brings peace to the heaven grant comfort to all who mourn, and together we say, Amen. And we take just a moment to light candles and say Kiddush and Motzi. Begin with candle lighting. Maybe, if I can get a matched light. There we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Again, send blessings to those that you love. And Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'hava ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uv'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen. And Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. May you see the blessings in all your days. Notice beauty and sweetness and be amazed. May you love without bound. Ever feel God surround. May you mend and tend. May you learn without end. May you see the blessing. May you seize the blessing. May you be a blessing in all your days. Shalom Aleichem. We invite the angels to journey with us through Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharek, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bachuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzeitzchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom. Have a beautiful Shabbat, a lovely weekend, and a good week ahead. I'll see you next week. Oh, and it'll be New Year by the time I see you. So have a happy New Year. I'll see you in 2021.